we're down to the last few days of summer, but there's still some warmth, some sweetness to be extracted, like a single frosted Cheerio in a bowl of regular Cheerios. The sweetness is there if you know where to look. Hello, and welcome to the Empty Bowl, a meditative podcast about cereal. My name is Justin McElroy, and I am a cereal enthusiast.
My name is Dan Goubert, and I am your cereal chauffeur in this luxury breakfast limousine we call a podcast.
For the next half hour or so, you have a very important, serious job, and that is to think only of cereal, to give yourself permission to just relax and focus on that. I know there are other things in your life that you need to consider, but right now you've earned the right to just do this, to just think about cereal. We're going to have some news. We're going to have reviews of some of the latest cereals, and we're going to have some fun too. There'll be some lighter moments as well to complement those. But first, Dan, I don't want to wait one more moment. Tell me about Apple Pie Toast Crunch, which, can I just say, before you say anything, that name has pushed this convention to its absolute limit. At this point, I don't think we can, I wanted to try to meet him halfway with like chocolate toast, but like apple pie toast is the proverbial straw, I think, that is breaking this cereal in twain.
Slice of apple pie on top of bread. I would say don't knock it till you tried it. But
sure.
Maybe we can give them the benefit of the doubt on some unseen cultural cult favorite snack. We'd mentioned in the past couple weeks how cereal news was starting to slow down, and it seems General Mills was just waiting for us to say that so that they could really fire this out-of-nowhere new Toast Crunch onto shelves. It was first found by Chris, the Cereal Crusader. Thank you for your service, Chris, at Albertsons. And this new Toast Crunch ostensibly brings back the well-loved and long-lost Apple Cinnamon Toast Crunch that was released a while back. But the key difference being Apple Pie Toast Crunch uses original Cinnamon Toast Crunch, crazy square shapes, whereas that Apple Cinnamon Toast Crunch used the bread-shaped pieces, as it was the sort of quadrilogy completing link between strawberry and blueberry toast crunches, which were formerly known as Tiny Toast to you cereal scholars out there, as well as French Toast Crunch, of course. And to be fair, I personally love the bread slice pieces and secretly wish every Toast Crunch used them. I just find them denser, crunchier, and far more adorable. Plus, you could make little sandwiches with them, and boy, have I. Nevertheless, it's hard to conceive of a world where an Apple Pie Toast Crunch isn't at least pretty darn good.
Yeah. It's always, I feel like Apple is really, you never know what you're going to get. It's a not a crapshoot, it's an apple shoot, because it's there. We've gotten what was the one that was like so synthetic? It was the Chex. The Chex flavor had a real green apple sort of synthetic appliness, but other people use it a little more sparingly. So we'll see.
Yeah, there was the Special K cinnamon apple seasonal variant that I think was really, really stellar. So hopefully we'll be somewhere around that sphere. What I do think is interesting is that, though I typically think of apple pie as a distinctly autumnal dessert, this Apple Pie Toast Crunch box is covered with wintry branding. The squares are all in their hats and scarves, and on the back you can see them with Christmas lights, mistletoe, ski goggles, etc. And this seasonal turn at first had me worried that Apple Pie Toast Crunch might replace Sugar Cookie Toast Crunch, which is sort of one of the founding cornerstone cereals of this podcast's hype machine.
Yeah.
But that living cereal legend still appears on the Cinnamon Toast Crunch website, so it appears to be safe for now.
Okay.
And even then, it would probably make a good mix-in for Apple Pie Toast Crunch as well.
Sure. Now, I don't know if I'm reading this right, Dan, but it looks like a product that is flavored like Fruity Pebbles has been released.
I know it's hard to believe, but part of this 50th anniversary Pebbles Palooza or Flintstone Fest or Yabba Dabba Jamboree, whatever you want to call it, there's really been no end to the new Pebbles products that have been released in the past year. We've had candy bars, chocolate bunnies, cake mix, and even like the beauty products that we mentioned last episode.
Yeah.
And the party's still rolling because next up are Pebbles Bites. And these are coming in both fruity and cocoa varieties, of course. And they are essentially little clusters of the respective cereal Rice Crisps, just coated with milk chocolate for the cocoa and with that sort of nebulous, creamy candy white stuff for fruity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure these will probably be pretty good as well. It just seems that they're a little small and weirdly individually wrapped as well. Like, sort of how I feel about Hershey Kisses, that you really expect me to disassemble this whole foil and streamer deal, which will take me longer than it will to eat the thing.
So I was sent these by the Frankfurt folks.
Already? Jeez.
They sent some of these about a week ago. I will say my very quick review is that your take on it being too much work to unwrap is absolutely on point. I mean, even the Hershey Kiss, which you mentioned, has a system in place. You know, it's got a pull tab basically,
right,
that makes it easier. These are kind of a pain to eat. Once you get them open, though, pretty nice flavor, pretty good size of treat. I just wish that they were. I wish they weren't individually wrapped. I will say this. This is my review of the Fruity Pebbles version. I sent a few with my daughter's lunch to school.
Mm-hmm.
And when she got back, she informed me that she needed to take 15 of them into class the next day because they were such a big hit. So good. I didn't. It's just too much. I don't like a lot of sweet things that are not cereal. You know what I mean? So it's like already. But I just wish they weren't individually wrapped, or if the wrapping came off easier or something, because they are kind of a pain.
What size would you compare them to compared to it?
Oh gosh, dime sized. So like a small gumball, like if you get some, not like full gumball, but like, the one smaller marble,
Mm-hmm.
to give you some perspective.
I could see those being a valuable cafeteria currency.
Kind of 3 coffee beans glued together.
Yeah, it is funny too how there's like this cereal candy civil war of sorts going on between Frankfurt, who's really going buck wild with that Pebbles license, and Gallery Candy, who's been running with Fruit Loops, making the Fruit Loops gummies, candy canes, and rebooted cereal straws. So I wonder if there's unspoken tension between them.
Maybe. Or maybe they're just trying to make it in this crazy world of ours, And Dan, I've tried this next one too. So this just happened to be at my local Walmart, or I think maybe it was Target. I don't remember exactly, but I definitely have had a big old box of this sitting on my
you're
shelves.
really ahead of the game. But yeah, we were going to talk about Peppa Pig Rice Krispies, the crossover of a lifetime, if not multiple lifetimes. And these are, not too different, at least it appears, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, from normal Rice Krispies, except that there are, mixed in with the plain Rice Krispies, the addition of special frosted pink Krispies as well.
Yeah, it's more just like a general strawberry crispy. I would say
they're actually fruit flavored.
Yeah, it's very faint. I might be imagining it. It's, they're pink and sweet, so it's absolutely possible that I'm just sort of like projecting that on.
So how does the color compare to the sheer pinkness of the Jojo Siwa cereal?
Oh, it's not even in the same league as JoJo Siwa. For sure, it's fairly pink. Like, you get the idea that it is pink, but it doesn't have that sort of like ethereal glow that the JoJo Siwa cereal had.
Did you make treats with them yet?
No, I didn't. I bet that would be pretty good, honestly. Overly sweet perhaps, but still pretty good. I will say that I really do wish, they're so close. If they had some like pink Peppa shaped marshmallows, like, I feel like they would be very, very, very good. Like, it would be definitely a like perfect sort of like encapsulation of the character, and the amp it up a little bit to make it feel a little bit more special, because this does feel a bit tacked on brand wise. It just feels like kind of like, well, these are pink and Peppa Pig is pink, so let's just go with it. So that's a little bit of a, it'd be nice to have them zhuzhed up a little bit, but not bad.
Nice.
Now, Dan, we're looking into the future there, but let's take a moment to appreciate the present. Tell me about reviews.
So this latest thing that I tried was another total surprise, sort of like apple pie toast crunch. And I have Twitter user Stuart to thank for this, for tipping me off about Dunkin' Donuts' new cereal and milk lattes that are apparently only available in Dunkin' test regions in Pennsylvania, Texas, Oklahoma, Michigan, of course, where I got them from, as well as West Virginia. So I have to wonder whether they targeted these specifically toward you and I. But these are described as a lineup of lattes that blend espresso with cereal milk made with real cereal for authentic bottom-of-the-bowl goodness, topped with sweet cold foam for the ice variant, which I did get, of course, as well as cereal crumbles on top as well. And you get two choices with these. You could pick cinnamon cereal milk latte with a cinnamon crumble on top, or marshmallow cereal milk with a rainbow crumble on top. Now, I sprung for the cinnamon, figuring that marshmallow is a little too subtle of a taste, maybe, especially when there's going to be sweet foam on top already.
It's a tough one to nail. Kind of like cotton candy, where the physics of the thing, I think, are part of the flavor.
But boy, I quickly found myself wishing for maybe the more subtleness of a marshmallow cereal milk, because this latte was painfully, like, tongue-wringingly cinnamony. And first off, it's nothing like any cinnamon cereal that I've ever had before, let alone the sugary goodness of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Rather, the cinnamon here is like drinking a freshly liquefied cinnamon clove Yankee Candle. And the thickness of it, the raw viscosity is certainly impressive, but other than that, I could not bring myself to finish mine. Nor was I willing to try, really, because apparently the cereal milk that they use in these is a proprietary, fully infused, pre-shipped and sealed sort of deal. So you can't, I don't think, get this latte dairy-free, meaning I, as someone who is mild to moderately lactose intolerant, wasn't about to unleash a storm in my stomach over something that already tasted quite not good. So maybe the marshmallow would be better. Someone else might have to let us know how that is. But I will say, unless you're a bona fide hot tamale sucking cinnamon maniac, I would pass on this one.
Now, perhaps we have a slightly better another product that is not available to everyone, to a very select crowd. This crowd just happens to be Mexico. We talked about the Mexico exclusive Krispy Kreme cereal, and you got your hands on that.
Yes, I was very happy to acquire it via the Mexican candy lady, whose incredible website and service has helped both of us in the past enjoy incredible cereals from south of the border.
I ordered some from her too. I imagine we're some of her top.
Yeah, like the original Tropical Fruit Loops, one of the greatest cereals in recent memory, and now these. You didn't get yours yet, is what I'm guessing.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I did. Actually.
Perfect. So what I'll say, I guess, is that there's something almost indescribably interesting about Krispy Kreme cereal.
Okay, so you were getting that note too, right? Like, it doesn't taste like Krispy Kreme donuts. I don't think, at least, I don't eat a lot of those. That's not one of like a brand that's close to me. You can get like, I don't know, some secondhand ones in a gas station.
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean? That one stand that just says Krispy Kreme. But I almost detected like, I almost want to say like pineapple.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Like there's some sort of like, it's, if not pineapple, some kind of tang
Yes.
to it, like a very subtle tang. Weird, like a weird choice, but not completely unpleasant.
Yeah, so I mean, when I was first trying to write down my thoughts, it felt like I was writing one of those cosmic horror stories where it feels like a cop-out to say that something is beyond the bounds of imagination and comprehension. But I racked my taste buds good and proper with this one, but still had trouble articulating exactly what that weird note is. I will agree that it's not exactly on point with the original glazed Krispy Kreme donuts that it's supposed to be based on, but I did kind of feel like this is a more, like, literally accurate donut cereal than most of the ones that could get put out there. That is to say that it kind of feels like these chunky little rings are actually fried. Like, I was feeling like I was getting undertones of funnel cake, plus, you said tang, but in my mind I wrote an intriguing twang of like sour cream or yogurt, maybe.
It's a twang of tang.
Exactly. It's unique, it's striking, and it is pretty darn good. But the problem for me was that it's a very flash in the grease pan flavor that doesn't necessarily last the duration of each spoonful. Like before you know it, the twang has been twung, and you're left with just this bland corn cereal ring. And I hate to be that guy, even though I so often am, but I think a tweak to the base grain could have gone a long way, or maybe even just dusting some flavor on to give it more potency and more of a pillowy mouth feel. So maybe they'll adapt this one for American shelves and take our extremely specific feedback to heart, but either way, this is
It seems highly
this
unlikely.
is a memorable one, if nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. It's not necessarily. I mean, like when I tried tropical Fruit Loops for the first time, the original, like I think I was telling people like, go to the Mexican Candy Lady, get yourself some of these because they're outrageous, very interesting, but not necessarily, I think, worth the considerable shipping charges.
True.
We asked you your favorite cereal box prize. I mentioned the dollar bill that Cheerios started including in boxes, and some of you were good enough to send us your answers as well, so we're going to listen to those now.
Hi, Dan and Justin. This is Charles from Portland, Oregon. My favorite cereal prize was the lightsaber spoons packaged with select Kellogg cereals to promote Star Wars Episode 3 back in 2005. These were released at the competitive height of my cul-de-sac's lightsaber fighting ring, so I couldn't wait to get my hands on one. They have to be one of the nicest cereal prizes introduced to my childhood, sporting a 2-part molded plastic design with a colored LED to illuminate the spoon. Strangely, they all had Obi-Wan's handle regardless of color. I'll pair what I believe to be a popular opinion with a controversial one. The prequel trilogy is actually pretty good. Thanks for this lovely podcast.
Hi, Dan and Justin. My name's Siobhan. You asked about the best cereal prize you've ever received, and mine were the Atlantis The Lost Empire cereal toys. They were these little plastic submarines and ships that would sink slowly into a bathtub. Hours of enjoyment in the bath as a little kid. A very good time. You could even put little bath bombs inside, and they would putter around the bath, making bubbles. Extremely fun. Definitely recommend.
Hi, Dan and Justin. When I was a kid, in either the early 2000s or late 90s, one of my boxes of Cheerios came with a DVD copy of the film The Muppets Take Manhattan. It was the only Muppets movie that we actually owned, and I loved it quite a bit. Thank you so much for your podcast.
I love that, like the full movie, just like inside the box. Yeah, that felt like absolutely massive when you're a kid. Like, wait, a whole movie? Are you sure? This is so
Yeah, that's why
generous.
for me, like, the obvious answer to this question is Chex Quest as a cereal prize, just because of the sheer impact it had on me over a lifetime. But I would also give a shout out to, since we talked about Bowl Buddies last episode, the Pokemon cereal Bowl Buddies that came with Pokemon cereal. It was a very eclectic mix of Pokemon. You would get Pichu, Geodude, or Arbok, and I think picking a couple second string Pokemon like that went a long way towards making those so iconic.
I looked up just randomly, like, what are considered some of the coolest ones that have been. I didn't realize there was a Jackson 5 single on Sugar Crisp that was like literally imprinted onto the box. Like, you could just put it on a record player and
Yeah,
listen
they
to
did
it.
those with the Monsters Go Disco, I believe it was too. But yeah, the cardboard flexidiscs that, yeah.
So cool. You know what else I tell you, the one that used to get to me a lot, I used to love when I was a kid, was when you would have like a sample of another like candy or treat. I feel like I got Gushers one time, like in it, like when they're trying to sell you something else, some other thing. Like, hey, we already have a captive audience here, full of kids. Do you have a question that is on your mind, something that you'd like to ask our listeners?
I did have a good one that came to me yesterday. It's kind of an off-kilter question, but if you were to get a cereal tattoo on your body, what would it be? Maybe you're someone who's actually interested in getting a cereal tattoo, or even if it's something you would never do, imagine you're having a wild time in Las Vegas and you lose a bet with a friend and you have to get a cereal tattoo. How would you represent that, and where would you get it tattooed?
Dan, I'm assuming yours would be some reference to the importance of changing the grain. Go against the grain, maybe the grain train.
Oat flour
like
on my knuckles.
You can go to bold.rest to answer that question. You'll see a little button to leave us a message. If you want to plug in a microphone, that sounds great. But if not, your phone will work just fine too. Just try to keep it, keep it cool. We have some what we call it, a lightning round.
Mm-hmm.
What's a chill version of a lightning round?
A
Drizzle.
yeah,
Something.
a light crackle.
Summer drizzle. Okay, Dan, I do have to ask you, what is the Kellogg's gut bacteria reef? I have not heard of it.
So this insane insight to international back of the cereal box affairs comes from listener Carol Ann in New Zealand, who wanted us to know that over in Oceania, where on boxes of all brand, of all things, you can scan a QR code to witness a free gut bacteria VR experience. And this feels like, maybe testing the limits of a restful and relaxing cereal podcast, but it's a biologically educational event where you can explore the inner workings of your gut through a world's first ever virtual reality experience, proudly supported by Kellogg's of Australia. And you dive through a hidden world of your gut bacteria reef, which is surprisingly similar, I'm told, to Australia's Great Barrier Reef. And I will say, after having viewed the experience on YouTube, that this is as insane as cereal promos get, like on the same level of immersion and effort as Chex Quest, where you get this very science fiction-y journey through someone's digestive system inside of a spaceship that was swallowed alongside a spoonful of bran flakes. And at one point, you get to even control a device that blasts high-fiber ammunition that feed good gut bacteria. So it just seemed very strange that on the back of the most boring cereal, arguably, you get this sheer dive into absurdism and, albeit a bit grosser than something like Chex Quest, especially as The gut bacteria reef experience ends exactly as you might predict.
Dan, Dan, I understand you wanted to provide some clarity on Captain Crunch's chess pieces.
This was something that I never thought we would get closure on either, because a couple episodes ago we were talking about the golden pieces in Captain Crunch, and I noted how I've never heard an official name for these coconut oil delights, and so I've always called them treasure chests. But thanks to Twitter users B-Squickle and James, we now have an answer, because according to a new commercial, as well as a product description on Captain Crunch's website, they're officially known as... Do you have any guess?
No, I wouldn't.
They're Captain Crunch's golden barrels, which, is fine. Barrels have a valid place in, the captain's nautical cereal setting. But at the same time, I refuse to revise my headcanon and will still forever call them treasure chests.
Yeah.
Especially because if we look at Ralston's Donkey Kong cereal from 1984, which was very upfront about promising crunchy barrels of fun, those are what I'd call barrel-shaped pieces. They've got height, they are extruded dimensionally, and I don't know.
Dan, I'm looking at these. These are barrels, bud. You're right. Now this is
True blue
barrel.
cereal barrels.
Here's a question. Hi, Dan and Justin. My father believes he invented putting ice in cereal milk. He says he does this to make his cereal extra cold. Have we ever heard of this? Do we find it acceptable? Let me know what you think. And thanks for the podcast. Jack-o'-lantern emoji. Blythe.
Have you heard of this?
No. I've never.
I've heard of it before.
I have some problems.
I think it was Gene Simmons famously put ice cubes in cereal.
It's monstrous. No offense to Blythe. I'm sure your father is a fine person, but the idea that I would bite down and expect the satisfying crunch of some grape nuts or Spider-Man frosted Chex pieces and would just get a big crunch of ice. It sets my teeth on edge just thinking about it.
Yeah, this is definitely something for the more dentally sound, unlike my own sensitive molars. But, every time I hear about this method, I simply can't envision it being satisfying. Just, for me, it's more the very thought of watering down my cereal in any capacity that just doesn't sit right.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Now, if you had, say, milk cubes, or if you, pre-chilled your bowl of milk in the freezer, that being perhaps the only instance where it's acceptable to do milk before cereal, then maybe I could see it. I've certainly done the latter on a hot summer's eve before, because it's kind of like freezing a Pop-Tart, giving it a unique twist to the flavor. But using actual ice cubes, for one thing, they're pretty big compared to any actual cereal piece, and I think we've just hit on all the other elements. It'd be a bit inconsistent, too, in how it distributes the chill effect, and the dilution, the sogginess. There's just way too many working variables there for this to work for my very standardized and ritualistic cereal eating routine.
This isn't included here, Dan, but I did have an exciting announcement.
Ooh.
And I think I've teased this before, but I am officially now off of dairy milk for cereal. Yeah, I've tried a lot of different options, but I finally tried coconut milk with my cereal, and it is just such a wonderful compliment. Really, truly delicious. I've tried several different milk sort of, substitutes, and never found one that really resonated with me, but coconut milk, I'm
Interesting. Does it? I don't think I've really tried coconut milk in cereal. Does it bring a cocoa nuttiness to anything?
A vague one. It's more of there's a hint of creaminess to it that you don't necessarily get with your oat and your hemp and your soy and your almond and your pea milks. But it's not like a strong coconut flavor. It's not going to tip the scales, but it's a wisp. It's a rumor of coconut.
Do you think that's what might have teased out the pineapple notes in your Krispy Kreme cereal?
That's absolutely possible. Yeah, I could be an unreliable narrator at this point. There's no
Every
way
cereal
around
we
it.
review going forward. I tasted a little coconut in that.
A hint of coconut. Thank you so much for listening to our program. Listen, when you're going to bowl.rest to leave a message for us, do me a favor and pledge $1, $5, $10 a month, whatever you can. Just click the little support button and support our show. It really helps us out a lot. Half of that is going to go to keep seriously.net running, and half of that goes to a shelter for people experiencing homelessness here in the tri-state area where I live. So really, really appreciate your support.
We'd also like to thank Chris Zabriskie for his opening theme of The Sun is scheduled to come out tomorrow, Bria Davis for our beautiful pink beachy podcast branding, as well as Samuel Rarden for designing our most recent empty bowl enamel pin. Oh, and we'd also like to thank you for listening.
Yeah, we appreciate it. If you want to leave a review or just tweet about the show, or put a link on an Anxious Friends Facebook wall, whatever you want to do, we really appreciate the help in growing. So thanks, but you're probably already asleep, aren't you?
Ooh.
Ah, dang it. Yeah, I should have said
I'm
something.
glad they were asleep before the gut bacteria reef experience.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, thank you so much for listening to The Empty Bowl. For Dan Goubert, my name is Justin McElroy. And as always, as my friend Dan always says...
Don't forget to drink the milk.
Yeah, well, he sort of said it like that. It wasn't exactly like that, but it's how he
You couldn't capture my
how he usually says it.
regional dialect quite right, but it was pretty close.
Your folks are charming.